has a frequency. And of course, the more organic, the more natural, and the higher nutrient foods are going to have higher frequencies, which will allow our bodies to start to assimilate to the higher frequency. So when our energy is low, the foods will definitely raise our vibration to feel better over time. And that's something people don't realize as they're sitting there being depressed, stuffing their face with like a processed, high carb, high sugar, possibly highly toxic food. Sometimes it's not even real food, but it's synthetic food. And they don't realize they can't get better no matter how much they're trying to think better, because the energy that they're putting in with the food is also lowering their vibration.
It was interesting. Recently, I went to my doctor after a blood test, and for the first time in a while, he said, "Hey, it's not a problem, but for whatever reason, for the first time, your blood sugar is above the norm slightly. What's your diet and intake right now?" And he says, "What are you doing about carbs?" I said, "I don't know." And so he said, "You might want to consider," and I'm not one to be more extreme, but I just stopped eating, almost stopped eating, but stopped eating a lot of bread, potatoes, rice, pasta, some of the bigger, bulky carbs. And within a 2 or 3 week period, lost like 10 pounds, felt completely different. Now, I'm thinking this is about what I'm eating and the actual physiological effect that the carb is having. But now also some of the ways that I'm eating, what I'm eating, have frequencies that can affect the way that I feel also. This is what I think is really important in this conversation. We know that, certain foods can cause a physiological experience with us. We relate to that more frequently. But frequency and vibration, wow, now we're talking about a whole different story.
Right. And canned foods have almost zero frequency. Anything very processed, it has no energy in it. We have to think about it. Like, can it do anything? No, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't even rot.
Is it alive? Is it alive?
Not alive.
Really, right. And I like to say at my house, we eat clean and green. We're always prepping fresh food. As fresh as you can get it nowadays. But I mean, fresh food and really being conscious in the way that we do that. I'm interested though now to see what the frequency is of my peanut butter covered chocolate that I make and have on a daily basis, a little bite of. So I'll have to talk to you about that after the show. I don't want to hear it during the show.
Well, raw almonds have a 50 megahertz frequency. So if somehow you can convert the peanut butter into almond butter that you crush up naturally, that might work for you.
Excellent. We'll see what we can do with that, because I definitely enjoy a higher frequency. I'm very aware of the energies you're talking about and the way that they can have an effect on each other. There are other things that you work with or that you deal with that or people can do in a daily basis to make a difference too.
Yeah, so besides food, which we can get into for hours, but besides food, there's also, especially food's a hot topic because there's a lot of emotional relationship to food. So if I tell someone, if you eat your chicken, it's going to be a frequency of 2, they're like, I don't care, I'll eat chicken all day long. But it's all about finding the balance, right? So it's give and take, where we know we're bringing in low frequencies when we have our cell phone around us or watching TV. So we try to find something else to counterbalance. So in your everyday environment, you can even have it in your decor. There's something called salt lamps. The salt lamps emit high frequencies. There's crystals. Crystals also have high frequencies.
Wow,
so inanimate objects that you can have.
You just hit it hard for me. I mean, I've got a big amethyst at my front door. It's like 3 feet tall. I've got a salt lamp in my bedroom that's on all the time, and a selenite lamp in my living room that's on all the time. So they're constantly reflecting these frequencies into my home. No wonder my home feels so good.
Right. Exactly. And so that counterbalances you having your chocolate peanut butter. So,
right.
That's good. Like that way people don't have to give up everything that's not necessarily of high vibration, because we're looking for the balance of everything. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you have that. And another one of my favorites, and really I personally felt the effects of this was essential oils.
Yes.
So I have diffusers emitting essential oils, and rose oil, which is extremely expensive, has a frequency of 320 megahertz. So we're talking about really like varying amounts of change in the energy just by inhaling an essential oil. And that in itself, I've seen the effects of that when I was having, after my grandmother passed away, and feeling, just normal grief, and sadness about things changing in our family. I saw that using the oils, not only did it stave off illness, because most of the family members actually got sick at the funeral, because a lot of times grief, another energy, another emotion, lowering the frequency allowed the flu virus or whatever we were all getting at the time come in, and a lot of people got sick. And I had my dad and I was like, my whole family, I was like, we're going to be using a lot of essential oils right now. So a lot of the oils that assisted with grief, even lavender, a combination oil called Thieves, which staves off everything from the plague. We were using them so frequently that we were one of the few people who didn't get sick during this very sad time in our lives. So and also want to bring out that there's also other homeopathic remedies as well. There's Bach remedies, Bach flowers. I actually create with crystal therapy and essential oil or Bach remedies. I can create homeopathics with my Matrix Decoder, which is a machine that basically measures your hair, measures from your DNA, from a hair or nail sample, your personal frequency, and can start detecting where the breakdown is before it manifests into symptoms.
There's a lot to take in here. Wow, what a wonderful way to begin to introduce the idea of how everything has that frequency and energy, that vibration, some of the things, and there's so much more that could be spoken about here with what we can do to make a difference. So I'm so eager for people to get to know you and to be able to hear from you. Your information, how they can contact you, will be part of this podcast. But you and I will be teaching a class coming up in September. You're offering a couple of classes in September that will really speak about some of these things more in depth. So go to SarasotaCenterofLight.com and look at our schedule, and you'll see in the early part of September that Alexandria will be teaching a couple of classes very closely related to the information we're talking about today. And you'll see that we're facilitating a class on the balance of the divine masculine, divine feminine energies later in the month. So be sure to check out what's going on at the center, how to contact Alexandria, and the benefits of so much that we haven't even touched into that she can offer to make a difference in your life, for you to become aware of the frequencies and vibrations that are going on within you, going on around you, going on with what you're taking in, or might be going on in and around you in your life, because we're really here. Look at what we're in the middle of. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and we're trying to find the balance, we're trying to find wellness, we're trying to find ways to deal with it. And these are certainly ways that it can be dealt with differently. I want to thank you very, very much for coming and being with us today and sharing this. You can tell by the way you talk, Alexandria, there's so much more to say and so much more to share. So I want to encourage people to reach out and find out what you have to offer and how you can help them, both through the center and in your own private practice.
Thank you so much, Jim. Yes, I will be covering in the classes a lot more in depth and more topics that will help provide the tools, because really during these times is what we do is we have the control to do what we can. And a lot of people aren't even aware of the simplest things that they can do to help in their health, their wellness, and to prevent getting sick.
Well, in the meantime, as we're making our way, everybody really take the time to be well and be safe as best you possibly can. Be conscious. Just pay attention in your decisions and your actions, your interactions. Know that if you want to contact me directly, you can through our website or REVJIMTOOLE gmail.com. Most importantly, we're all wanting to be the difference that makes the difference, and Alexandria certainly is. I'm enjoying her having moved back here and the chance to work with her and to help make a difference for each other, for our community, and for many others in many different places. So thank you again for being here today. Thank you all for joining us. Have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your day, week, month, and year. Blessings to each and all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate having this opportunity to share with everyone as well.
You bet. Take care.